morning, everyone, and welcome to the last in our three-part series on well-being and mindfulness. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome back Elizabeth today, who's going to take us through some stretches and mindfulness techniques that we can really put into practice in our daily lives. Just a reminder that all these sessions are recorded and you'll be able to find them on the Institute's website and you'll be able to access them at any time. Thank you to VANRATH for sponsoring these events and for making them possible. I will hand over now to Barbara from VANRATH before we get started. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Claire, and thank you very much to the Institute for allowing us to sponsor. It's been our pleasure to support the January wellness sessions this year, so thank you very much for attending. It has been great. If anybody is thinking, okay, January, new year, new career, please don't hesitate to reach out to any of our consultants in VANRATH. As we were chatting before, it is an incredibly busy time of the year. There's lots of opportunities out there, or if anybody would just like any general advice, please don't hesitate to give us a call. But thank you very much for attending, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. It's so nice to see you. Welcome back, or welcome if this is one of the first times that you're jumping on for a little bit of morning mindfulness, just to get the day started. First of all, I want to thank very much the Chartered Accountants of Ireland and Karen Hewitt for curating this program, for calling me forward, for pulling us all together. So appreciate it. And a big thank you to VANRATH for sponsoring this event. It's been amazing to work with you. My name's Elizabeth. I am the founder and owner of Flow Studio. I'm a workplace wellness and mindset consultant, and it's been amazing to work with you all over the past 3 weeks, just on very simple mindfulness that we can do at any time, at any point. That's the point. We want to make it very accessible and very useful for you in your day. And so today we are talking about grit and really finding steadiness when things feel overwhelming or challenging, or you feel out of your depth. And I'm sure we can all remember a time, probably in the last day, where something has come up and it feels like it sort of pulls us off balance, or you're on the back foot, or you're feeling unsteady in some way. And it happens all the time. And we can do things to really help just in a moment to get steady and still, and to really remain present even when things feel overwhelming. So I turned to one of my favorite teachers, and I'm sure you all have heard of her, Brene Brown. And she says, don't puff up, don't shrink down, stand your sacred ground. And that has become such a powerful mantra for me as challenges have come up, or if I've been in new situations that feel overwhelming, or I feel out of place or uncomfortable, or again, if I'm standing up in front of people and presenting, it can be really handy to find steadiness. And again, when we're off our base or off balance, we can start to get a lot of noise in the mind. We can start to think up the narrative or the questions or the comeback, and it takes us out of that moment. It takes us out of that steadiness where it's really in that present moment that we can respond the best we can in any given situation. So we'll get into all that good steadiness stuff, but first I just want to offer you a few very basic stretches right where you are. And remember that you always can take a moment to open the body, take a breath. It's like in a moment you can reset. And we notice that as things sort of get a little overwhelming or a little stressful, the body starts to tense up. So the first thing that we can really do is just take a little stretch right where you are, seated right where you are. So let's begin. All right. So first, start by feeling your feet on the ground. Okay, so really starting that. So you're dropping down out of the thinking mind and connecting to where you connect. Feet on the ground, feel your bum in the chair, and then just start to scooch back a little bit so that you can sit up tall and sit up proud, right? So you're already starting to open up the chest, open up the spine, stack up really tall, and even just draw your head back in space a little bit. Good. All right. And start with a big breath. Inhale, take a big breath in. And exhale, let it go. Again, take a big, full breath in. And exhale with intention. Let it go. Clearing that out. We'll do one more just like that. Inhale, big, full, deep breath in. And exhale. Ooh, there you go. And let's begin with a little stretch here. Again, we're just trying to get into the 6 directions of the spine. It will help open those energy airways and help you get set up. All right. So start with the arms up. Take your arms all the way up and overhead. Interlace your fingers except for your pointing fingers. Good. And lean over to one side, just getting a little side body stretch there. And lean over to the other side. Good. Come up to a neutral position. Now, folks, elbows go wide and the heart shines big. So gently pressing elbows back in space. Lift the heart, lift the eyes all the way to the ceiling. So this is your antidote for text head, screen head. Yeah, anybody relate? Lift your eyes. Good. And release. Hands come right onto your knees. Yeah, good. And then gently releasing in. So let your head be all the way heavy. And just gently shift your head from side to side. So releasing that neck. Good. Sit up nice and tall. There you go. One more time, just like that. Arms rise, interlace fingers except for pointing fingers, and gently arc over to the side, side body stretch. Very good. Over to the other side. You got it. Up nice and tall. Elbows go wide, heart shines big. Lift your eyes, open the throat. Feel like your collarbones are expanding. That's it. And release. Hands come to the knees. And then look right into your belly buttons, really letting that head be all the way heavy. And again, gently shifting your head from side to side. There you go. Beautiful. Now sitting up nice and tall. One more, get those twists in. So take your right hand, you can hold onto your chair or anything. You just want to stabilize that right hand. And then take your left hand across the body over to the knee. Good. And now inhale, rise and climb up your spine. And exhale as you spin, belly, ribs, shoulders, eyes looking over the right shoulder. This should only feel good, right? So only feel good. You're just going to the place where you're getting a little bit of openness. Let the shoulder blades slide onto the back. And you might even gently lean the head back in space, whatever feels nice for you. Good. And release. Let's try it to the other side. So left hand, again, you can hold onto the chair or just stabilize it in some way. Now take the right hand across the body over to the left knee. Nice. And now inhale, rise and climb up the spine and spinning belly, ribs, shoulders, eyes looking over the left shoulder. Again, let the shoulders slide onto the back. And then you might be gently leaning the head back in space. Keep your breath moving. Good. And release. So friends, one just important thing to take home here is that when you're doing some stretches, especially just to open, release, revive, they should only feel good. And you don't even really need to know what you're doing as long as it feels good. Listen to your body, right? As long as you're avoiding any pressure, pain, or pinching, and you're just opening up a little bit, then you're doing it right. Yeah. So you can find your own things that you're doing at your desk just to open up the body, release a little bit of pressure. Okay. So when it comes to being steady and strong and present, especially when things are overwhelming or you're uncomfortable or something takes a turn that you weren't expecting, right? It's about staying really steady and really present. And so the first thing to do is to actually feel your body grounding, right? So if you're standing, you'll feel your feet on the ground. And even just in a split second, like really feeling the ground beneath you, right? That steadiness, that grounding, and then using whatever surface you're on to really to be tall, right? So even when you're sitting, try that. So you're feel where you connect to your chair, right? The heaviness of your body, the heaviness of your bones, that grounding, that steadiness. And then use that to sit tall and sit proud. And then it's really about staying present in your focus, awareness, and attention. So in meditation, one of the things that we're always trying to cultivate is steadiness or being steadfast. And this is part of the practice that we just continue to work on so that when we get into a situation where we're knocked off base, right, we're feeling on the back foot, then all of that practice and training sort of comes into place where you can be present and completely there even when things feel unsteady, right? So let's just practice a little bit of that steadiness meditation. All right. So you're already sitting up tall, feeling where you connect, either feet on the ground, your bum on the chair, feeling the heaviness of your body, the heaviness of your bones, that steadiness. Yeah. And now, friends, just close your eyes for a second, listen to my voice. And begin to turn your awareness inward to follow the breath. And when you're feeling overwhelmed, that can be more challenging than it sounds, and that's okay. Because what we're training ourselves to do is just to gently come back, come back, come back. And so when we practice with our breath. And literally it's your like mental fitness. And every time you bring your awareness back fully to what you're doing, and right now we're just breathing, it's like a bicep curl for your mind. So just begin to feel the breath and notice it without doing anything, without changing anything. Just notice how it feels to inhale, rise, expand. Exhale, release, and let go. And follow that in your own mind as you inhale, rise, expand. Exhale and release. And if you find yourself getting distracted, that's okay and very normal. Gently draw your awareness back and just keep coming back and keep coming back. Stay with me just for another moment as you follow your breath all the way in and all the way out. Good job. Now inhale, take a big, full, deep breath in. And exhale, let it go. One more time, big, full, deep breath in. And exhale, let it go. Good. Now blink your eyes open. Welcome back. I know it seems really simple, like just that simple breath meditation, but it really does help to train our minds and our attention and awareness to be present. And it becomes especially important when things get challenging. Because again, we all know that feeling of being knocked off our game, knocked off our base. Something happens, somebody comes in, something's said, and you're on the back foot. right? So in that moment, again, feel your feet on the ground, feel your bum on the chair, and then physically just stay a little tall, a little proud, okay? And the word for me, grit, comes from the strength of the back and the grit of the spine, right? And that's the big strength within you. And sometimes it can get, it can start to waver, and it happens with our attention. So again, we're knocked off base and the mind starts running, the responses start forming, the narrative starts going, and we're in a flap, right? So that steadiness in the body, the grounding, and just the steadiness of your attention and awareness will help you respond in those moments the best that you can, because that moment is unfolding in the present moment, right? Not in the narrative in the head, or that noise that's starting to come in because we're feeling off our balance. And so when you're fully present, it gives you that moment to take in the whole situation and really bring the best of your intelligence, creativity, and strength to bear onto the situation at hand. But it's most accessible to you when you're fully there in that moment, as challenging as it is. And that's where we start to cultivate just that little bit of a steadiness in meditation, because we're already so distracted, right? There's so much going on, especially for you all accountants into January. Wow. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of noise. And so that steadiness just helps us to really bring our full attention and full awareness to the challenge at hand. So friends, I just want to thank you once again for taking these few moments out. Remember that you can always pause, like even in a tough conversation, you can take a full inhale and a full exhale before you respond. Like you do have those spaces, you can create those spaces. And yeah, I just really enjoyed talking with you. I love applying these techniques to everyday situations that come up. So if you find yourself getting a little overwhelmed, or you just want to practice, stop, feel yourself in space, take a big full breath, follow it in your mind, and see what happens. Friends, it's been really, really wonderful to work with you. If you have any questions or any feedback, we would love to hear them. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves.
Thanks, Elizabeth. We did get one of the questions in the chat there about being in a tense situation, maybe overwhelmed, and there's usually others around you and you can't step away. And if you had any ideas about that, but I think you kind of spoke to that in that last part there, and you're saying, that deep breath in and out before you respond can be a way to create space. Have you any other tips, Elizabeth?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you so much for asking it. I think sometimes we feel like we can't pause. It's like it's happening. And you have to remember that you can take one breath. You can take one breath. You can take a moment just to take a breath and then respond. And I think that when things start to heat up like that, things start to heat up, they start to go quickly, that what you really, really need in those moments is one breath. And that's just to steady yourself. Like this has been all about steadiness, and our reactions are generally not going to be our best approach. So we're trying to create even a tiny bit of space so that we can respond versus react, right? Because that in a hot situation, what sticks with you is like, oh, I wish I hadn't said that, or it's like it just came too fast. And I think anybody around you in a hot situation is going to observe that you're okay. And even you can create space, like in your conversation. Okay, let's take a breath here. Let's take a pause. And you can call that too. So I feel like again we're always pressured into responding right there in the moment, where sometimes the best thing to do is to invite everyone to take, just to take a breath, write down some thoughts, or whatever feels appropriate in your space. But a breath is always available, and I think that it can be so powerful even in a hot situation, for people to see you steadying yourself and responding,
You're so
and
right. You know, we live in a world so fast paced and
yeah,
so
it is
instant
really fast
response.
paced.
So no, that's
Yeah.
really good advice. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for that advice.
Thank you for that question. Yeah.
And thank you so much, Elizabeth, for the last few weeks and getting us started into January with good practices. Hopefully we'll all take through the rest of 2022. And just, sorry, lastly, before we go, just to thank you again to VANRATH for sponsoring. And a quick reminder that, as I said before, you can rewatch some of these via the links that will be shared with you on the Institute's website. Share them with a colleague, share them with a friend, and go back and rewatch when you find yourself in some of these moments where you could use some of this Elizabeth's great advice most. And thank you all for joining us the past 3 mornings. And I hope to see you all in future, maybe in person at a young professionals event or an institute event soon. So thank you all, everybody, and see you soon.